In a world of red carpets and million-dollar dresses, some stars say, "I do," with no audience, no spotlight, just love behind closed doors. Forget the flashy weddings and designer gowns. Some celebrities prefer to keep their big day low-key, opting for intimate venues and private ceremonies. From island escapes to backyard vows, these stars chose secrecy over spectacle. Here's how secret weddings have evolved in Hollywood. It doesn't get more quietly cinematic than when Michelle Williams and Thomas Kail tied the knot in March 2020. There was no press blitz and no designer photo spread. They'd met in 2018 on the set of FX's Fosse Verdon, where she starred and he directed. Their first public appearance was the 2020 Golden Globes, where Williams gave Kail a heartfelt shout-out during her acceptance speech. Flash forward to now. 3 children together, including son Hart, born in June 2020, another child in 2022, and a third via surrogate in early 2025. Williams also has a daughter, Matilda, born in 2005 with the late Heath Ledger. Up next, a Hollywood couple who chose silence over spectacle. Some love stories take the scenic route and somehow end up exactly where they're meant to. By the time Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hillary Burton tied the knot in 2019, their life together was already well underway. 2 kids, 2 careers, and a farmhouse in upstate New York had come first. The wedding was less of a launch and more of a love letter to everything they'd already built. The guest list was intimate, with Supernatural's Jensen Ackles among the handful of close friends, and the atmosphere leaned more toward a backyard reunion than Hollywood affair. He wore a simple suit, she wore vintage, and together they made it official. But what happens when a romance starts from a failed pilot? Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor kept things simple when they married in May 2000 in Kauai, Hawaii. They'd met a year earlier while working on a failed TV pilot. That was hardly the romantic backdrop you'd expect, but one that sparked something real. Their wedding was small and unannounced, filled with orchids, ocean air, and 0 paparazzi. Over the years, they welcomed 2 children and weathered a public separation in 2017. But quietly, without spectacle, they reconciled during the pandemic and are now living together again in New York. From creative projects to a life marked by quiet privacy, Allison Brie and Dave Franco have crafted a relationship that thrives away from the spotlight. They've worked together as writers, actors, and producers, all while keeping their personal lives out of the public eye. Their relationship began in 2011 after meeting at Mardi Gras, and 5 years later, they got engaged. But the big surprise? Their wedding in 2017 was a completely private affair. No photos, no public announcement, just an intimate celebration of their love. For them, it's always been about real connection, away from the glare of Hollywood. It's all about keeping the spotlight off. But wait, there's another surprise in store. Patrick J. Adams and Troyan Bellisario's 2016 wedding wasn't your typical Hollywood event. There was no press coverage, just a 3-day camping celebration in California with friends, music, and stargazing. The guest list included their Pretty Little Liars and Suits co-stars, but the vibe stayed grounded and personal. They had been together since 2009, with one brief split before reuniting stronger than ever. Today, they raise 2 daughters and keep their life mostly offline, far from paparazzi and public scrutiny. Up next is a love story that's as private as it is quirky. In a very different chapter, Elizabeth Moss and Fred Armisen quietly wed in October 2009, a match that surprised fans of both the Mad Men star and the SNL alum. The ceremony was kept under wraps, with almost no public details beyond the confirmation that it happened. Their relationship was intense but brief. The couple separated less than a year later and finalized their divorce in 2011. Still, their secret wedding captured a moment of real optimism. 2 artists connecting across genres, hoping for permanence in a world that rarely allows it. The marriage didn't last, but the way it was handled with privacy and minimal noise says everything about their values. But is there another couple who kept their vows even quieter? Yes. Far from the cameras, Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy took their time before saying, "I do." After dating on and off for 15 years, they married in 1997 in a small, private ceremony. No magazine covers, no matching outfits, just two actors who knew what they wanted and waited until it felt right. They've since had 2 daughters and built a strong creative and personal partnership, even through very public challenges. Throughout everything, they've stayed side by side. Their wedding didn't launch a brand or spark a hashtag. It solidified a bond built over years of real life. In a world where celebrity relationships often flicker, theirs has endured. Despite divorcing in 1994, Christy Brinkley and Billy Joel have remained close friends and devoted parents to their daughter, Alexa Ray Joel. Their 1985 wedding aboard a yacht on the Hudson River was intimate, with just a few friends and the Manhattan skyline as their backdrop. It wasn't about hiding. They chose to keep it private, preserving the moment before the world could turn it into a spectacle. Even after their marriage ended, they continued to share a deep bond, co-parenting Alexa Ray and maintaining a respectful friendship that has lasted long after their vows. From a yacht in 1985 to a lasting friendship, this was one secret wedding with a twist. Can the next one top it? After meeting on the set of I Know What You Did Last Summer in 1997, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. took their time before starting a relationship. But when they married in 2002, they chose privacy over fanfare. Their ceremony in Puerto Vallarta was intimate, with only close family and friends present. 2 decades later, they're still together, raising 2 kids while keeping their lives largely outside the Hollywood spotlight. Their relationship is free of scandals or drama. What's lasted is a love story grounded in trust and mutual respect. Private vows in Puerto Vallarta, a quiet love story lasting decades. But let's see who else made their wedding an intimate affair. Elsewhere, Amber Tamblyn and David Cross turned their 2012 wedding into something only they could pull off. Held deep in the woods with a marching band and a white horse, it was whimsical, weird, and totally private. They invited a small group of close friends and leaned into the offbeat spirit that defines them both. There were no magazine spreads, no branded decor, just laughter echoing through the trees. They welcomed their daughter Marlo in 2017 and continue to split time between creative projects and parenting. Their wedding wasn't for the public. It was performance art with heart, staged for themselves and the people who truly matter. But wait, their offbeat ceremony isn't the only one worth noting. Across the Atlantic, Sacha Baron Cohen and Isla Fisher pulled off one of Hollywood's most elusive weddings in 2010. After a 6-year engagement, they married in Paris with only 6 people in attendance. The ceremony was intimate, quiet, and kept under wraps for months. Fisher converted to Judaism before the wedding, reflecting their deep commitment. Over the years, they've welcomed 3 children and remained one of the most private power couples in the industry. They've built a boundary around their private life and stuck to it. They went from scream queens to school lunches without missing a beat. Their secret wedding was a promise to each other that their love would be protected, and it has been from the start. And to end our episode, we have Peter Sarsgaard and Maggie Gyllenhaal, who've spent over a decade raising 2 daughters and building a creative home base in Brooklyn. They've worked together on several acclaimed projects, including The Lost Daughter, which marked Maggie's directorial debut. Before all that, they married in a quiet 2009 ceremony in Italy after 7 years together. The event was intimate, attended only by close family and friends, reflecting their grounded approach to both art and life. With 2 thriving careers and a shared commitment to storytelling, their relationship has been more about collaboration than spectacle. Because in Hollywood, the most powerful love stories don't always walk the red carpet. Sometimes they sneak past it completely. Which celebrity's secret wedding would you have loved to witness?